I am Anthony Jones, returning citizen, core member of Chance for Life, former spokesperson of Crime Stoppers of Michigan. Currently, I am a chaplain with St. Mary's Mercy of Livonia, better known as Trinity Health, and host of the Chance for Life podcast.
I'm Andrea Isom, journalist, former TV news reporter, host, and national correspondent. I'm a friend and supporter of Chance for Life and have proudly been telling its story for more than 15 years, along with my husband and business partner, Joe Harris. And I am the co-host and producer of the Chance for Life podcast.
So the purpose of this podcast is to show the naysayers, to show those that are doubters, to show those that are skeptical and optimistic, but there is an opportunity, if given an opportunity, I'll put it that way, that returning citizens can make a change. Returning citizens, because the right change, can change the community that they're in and make society better in whole.
You know what, too, Anthony, I want people to see for themselves that change and transformation and redemption is real. It can happen. It does happen. And I want people to meet core members who went through the Chance for Life program on the inside and see what they're like on the outside now.
What do you think are a couple of the really big misconceptions people think about prison?
They think that people go inside and they sit down and they wait till it's time for them to be released and they go home. It's another city. It's a whole nother city. Inmates interact with each other. They don't think about the fact that they have different assignments that they have to do. The prisons have to function. They have to run. Who's going to help that happen? Mm-hmm. Not the officers, not the guards that are supposed to be watching the prisoners. So they work the prisoners. They work the prisoners to keep the facility clean. And when it's time to paint the facility, who paints the facility? It's the prisoners. They see these things on TV. You go in the yard, you get hurt. And then you go back in, you come out on the yard, and you lift weights and play basketball, you get hurt.
So that's not true.
It has its place.
Okay.
But it's not the norm. You know, people are in there getting along with each other. People are inside the prisons. They are learning how to improve themselves. Great things are happening. Great people are coming out of prison systems. Sometimes it's a wake-up call for people. Sometimes people never get it, and they're what we call the repeat offenders, you know. And that's what our society thrives on, the repeat offender, to keep the doors open. You keep the doors open, you keep people employed. The employment is deeper than the correctional officer. You have the psychologist that has a job. You have the school teachers that come in to teach the education from the GED up to however they might go at this point in time. You have the extracurricular activities that take place where you have people that teach activities or facilitate activities that have jobs there now. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like any other place. It's just inside the prison.
So when you said that prison's like a city, what do you mean by that?
I mean that they function just like a city. There's a store. There's a time to shop. There's a time to have entertainment. There's a time to congregate and fellowship with each other like we do out here. We get together and we do something, okay? It's yard time. This guy and that guy, they're going to get together and they're going to talk about nothing, or they're going to talk about some serious things. They're going to talk about some major, minor things, however it is. But when that time is over, it's also time, like outside of the prison, they're going to set up a time to eat together. You know, they're going to do their laundry. My mother was visiting me one time, and my mother was upset that she noticed that the prisoners had big screen TVs. They should be doing time. They shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be able to watch TV and things like that. We're spending our hard-earned money on these people watching television. And I explained to her that we fund our own things.
Inmates buy their own TVs.
Inmates buy their own TVs. The money my family would send me, or that I would earn from one of the menial tasks that they would give us there, would go towards things like that. Would purchase my own television and sit it in my cell, as small as it was. And the common area, those TVs are purchased by inmates. Not saying certain inmates get together, but when they purchase things from these stores that we're talking about, they place all of these orders. A portion of that goes into what is called an inmate fund. And then the inmates get together with permission of the facility to decide how to spend that money. Is it going to offend, benefit, or whatever? And they come up with a vote representing the rest of the population, and there you have it.
What surprised you the most when you were incarcerated?
What surprised me the most when I was incarcerated? That's a good question, and I'm going far back. What surprised me the most when I was incarcerated was that inmates had control over a lot of things. For example, if you were going to go to a class, you would expect somebody to be in there teaching a class, and it would be an inmate teaching the class. You needed to, for example, I was a clerk for the maintenance department. I ordered parts. That surprised me. I did payroll. That's for the inmates, not the civilians, but I had to do the payroll to make sure these people got paid. I had to assign the task to make sure. That surprised me. Inmates are not just sitting in cells. They're doing things. That kept me motivated. That helped me find out my worth and things like that. Other people don't look at it like that. They just see themselves occupying their time till they get out. Some people see it a different way. I am doing something to figure out who I am and why I do what I do. What do I like? What do I dislike? Where do I fit in? And then I try to carry that out of the prison and live according to what I've been taught to do. And it works. It works if you work it. Prison does not work. Prison does not rehabilitate.
But people think it does.
That's what they sell you. That's what they sell you. It's, what is it? The Department of Correction, no matter what state you go to. It's the Department of Correction. What are they correcting? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're giving you an opportunity to do your time. This is where you'll be housed because the judge says you should be here. That's when Chance for Life came in, for me, for sure. I gained something that nobody could take from me, certificate or no certificate. I became to understand who I am, how to categorize everything that I've learned about myself. I learned how to present myself as a person. I learned how to conduct myself in any environment, whether I was talking to somebody that was coming up or somebody that was already there. I learned how to conduct myself through Chance for Life, learning how to understand when there was a conflict to be resolved. So I was taught conflict resolution, communication. As you know, I can run my mouth, but
that's what I like about you.
I learned how to be appropriate in talking instead of just talking and not being informed. Talking and when I'm not informed, it's easy now for me to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't speak on that because I don't know. And this is based on what I believe instead of you can't tell me, I know. That's where a lot of our beefs come from.
Right.
A lot of our arguments and fights and shootings come from. You know more than I do and I know more than you do, and you can't tell me any different. Now I know better. I know better. I know to be still for a minute and hear if there's a correction to be made because of the programs that Chance for Life brought to the table, which are basic. One thing Chance for Life told me that made me feel at ease with them is that they were not here to teach us anything we didn't already know. They were here, they showed up to strip us of some thinking that didn't apply to anything worthwhile and bring us back to the basics. Responsibility, communicating, learning how to resolve conflict, how to mediate through a situation. We learned those things. And those are things we already knew. We already knew those things. But now we're putting them into action because we understand how to apply them and when.
If you did not go to prison, do you think you'd be the person you are right now?
If I did not go to prison, I don't think that I would exist right now.
Why?
Because I was on a road that was bound to take me to the grave. Apart from using drugs, I was living a dangerous life. You know, I was taking things from people by gunpoint, which in some cases I ran to people that also had a gun, you know, but by the grace of God, nothing happened to me. You know, I'm glad nothing happened to me. And I always tell people, I didn't get arrested. I got rescued. I got rescued from myself. I got rescued from myself. I was pulled away from an element where I could hide and manipulate. Prison is so small, the microcosm is so small that you can't hide. You're exposed at all times. There's no place to hide. There's no place to pretend. Your lies catch up with you. If you're perpetrating to be something that you're not, you're going to be found out because it's just that small. I mean, a large place is 500 people, you know, and I'm not saying on a compound altogether, but that's a pretty big crowd. But in the city, you can hide. You can go to the east side. You can go to the west side. You can be somebody else when you go to another town. Metro Detroit is full of cities. You can go to another city and change your whole name and conduct yourself in a whole different way and go back home and be the guy you really are. Nobody. And it's just that simple. But it's the same in prison too, because you can go into prison and be whoever you want to be until your homeboy shows up. He gets locked up and he knows exactly who you are. And now you're in trouble. So you learn out of fear of always living in conflict to be truthful, to be open, to be transparent. Because if you don't have anything to hide, nobody can uncover anything.
Why do you think we need to do this? Why do you think it's important for people to see you in this position and for us to be talking about all of the things?
I think it's important because of this one thing right here. People need to understand and know that there is a way to make a change that works. Everybody is selling change. Everybody is selling improve yourself. Everybody is selling self to you. You already who you are, but everybody wants self. You love yourself, be yourself. Okay, who are you? You know, why do you exist? Chance for Life is important. To do this and to expose it is important because nobody believes that there's something out there that really works. And this really works. And we have proof. We have proof. This is what I enjoy. I love this. I love this part right here. I'm talking to people and they're talking about inmates to me. Yeah, so-and-so was locked up and it's just a shame how they are. They're out here and they can't do anything and nothing's working for them and this is, and all of these things. Yeah, do I have those challenges? I do. I still have those challenges. Finding a place to live is a chore.
Why is that?
Because of the felony. When they find out that you have a felony, you're a bad person. You're bad for their image, or you're not going to take care of their property. That's the mindset that they have, and they don't want you.
What does that feel like to know that that's not you, but that's what people think?
It feels like nobody really cares or believes that you can never change. Nobody believes it. Nobody cares if you did. Because sooner or later, the other shoe is going to drop. Sooner or later, something's going to happen. You're going to snap. I have people that have known me most of my life. So that means that they know the ugly side. They're still waiting for me to go back to prison. And this November, I'll be out 12 years. They're still waiting on me to go back. And I enjoy it.
Why do you enjoy that?
I enjoy that because they will become my best cheerleaders. We know who he was. We see what he's doing. And if he hasn't fallen off by now, you need to give him a chance. They'll be my best cheerleaders. I came home from prison. For a short time, I was living in my mother's home who died before I got out. My neighbor, very next door neighbor, came to me while I was doing the yard work, and he told me to stay away from his dad. He moved out. His 90-something-year-old dad was in the house. I don't think he was able to move around. He was wheelchair bound or something like that. Don't go and speak to my dad. Don't go in. I know about you, so forth and so on. I said, no, you don't know about me. I let him talk. And I explained to him. I said, I'm glad. I told him the same thing. I said, you're going to be my best cheerleader, man. I said, because you know who I was. You know what I used to do. And you're going to see me. You're going to see me, and you're going to see me as I am. And I wasn't saying that I'm going to force myself down your throat. I knew that I was going to get the job with Crime Stoppers. And everybody watches the news, especially this type of guy. So I knew he was going to see me. And he saw me, and he came back. And just to shorten the story, after his apology, he says, let me know when you're speaking somewhere. I want to come and hear you. That's what he did. That's why I say I love it when somebody is expecting the worst out of me that knows me from my past, because they're my best cheerleaders. You can't tell them that I'm going to do something contrary to what I say once I've proven myself to that person. That person I will put down as a reference. Yeah. Oh, but he knows. Yeah. But he also knows. Yeah. And that's what I love. Now, just like you and I, we've been doing things for years.
Yeah.
But you don't know the other side. So only thing you can speak of is what you know about me. Chance for Life helps us to understand who we are. It's about being who you are. So I like that too, because this is what I would have been doing anyway had I not fallen into wrongdoing. I would have been doing the things that I love to do the most, and that's help people, talk to people, encourage people. You know, I like to share my life with other people, you know, so it's fun. And Chance for Life gave me a chance to do that.